Hi, I'm Dr. Joe DeMarco, chiropractor and owner of OcraMed Health, and today we're going to talk a little bit about how to build huge shoulders. Now, when we're talking shoulders, we're talking deltoid muscles, and when we're talking the deltoid muscles, there's actually three sections of the deltoids. There's the anterior head in the front, the lateral head, and then the posterior head. Now, today we're going to focus primarily on the anterior and lateral heads. We'll save the posterior head of the deltoid for another video. And when we're talking building up the anterior and lateral head, we want to use the granddaddy of all shoulder exercises, shoulder presses. Now, lots of ways to perform shoulder presses. You can do them seated, you can do them standing, you can do them with dumbbells, barbells, kettlebells, lots of ways to do it. What we're going to talk about today is we're going to go over seated dumbbell presses, which is a great exercise, really targets the anterior and lateral heads of the deltoid. And if you do it correctly, it's the best shoulder building exercise, in my opinion, that you can do. So first off, talking seated dumbbell presses, let's just go over some postural concerns and common mistakes that I see performed in a gym, in gyms quite a bit when it comes to seated dumbbell presses. First off, seated dumbbell presses, you want to be sitting upright, so you don't want to use an inclined bench that's only going to go up to 70 or 80 degrees and leave you leaning back like that. Other aspect is sitting up straight. A common mistake is people turn seated dumbbell presses into like basically a seated inclined chest press. And what happens is people will start to lean back. If there's a seat back here that they're using, they'll lean their lower back on the back of the seat. Or if you're sitting like this, they'll lean way back and they'll take the dumbbells and they start pressing in this angle. And at this point, you're turning your shoulder press into an inclined chest press. So it's very important when we're doing seated dumbbell presses to keep the chest up and keep the back flat at 90 degrees at the waist and be sitting up nice and straight so that when we press, we're pressing overhead and not at this type of an angle, which is going to target more of the chest. We're doing shoulder presses, so let's target that anterior and lateral heads of the deltoid. A couple other things is we're going to talk about getting the most out of our shoulder presses. Now, there's nothing wrong with working periodically a little heavier weight and limiting maybe lower, like decreasing our range of motion a little bit to try to build up to some heavier weights on certain days. So what I mean by that is if you're performing seated shoulder presses and you're going heavier on a particular day, you want to try to, increase some strength, bump up the weights a little bit, and with the heavier weight, we can't do a full range of motion. It's okay to come down maybe to the level of the ears and then be pressing back up on certain days. I don't like to do it that way every single time I'm doing shoulder presses, because to get the most out of your dumbbell shoulder presses, you want to take it down to a full range of motion, because if you're only going to about this level, you're missing out on this whole part of the shoulder press where you're taking it from deep into the hole and up, which is really engaging those deltoid muscles. When you're up here, you're still getting quite a bit of work on the deltoids and the other assisting muscles, but you're missing out on this. And this is a big part of the shoulder press, coming from the hole and coming out of the hole to the ears. So we want to work it like this primarily. So I do most of my shoulder press days full range of motion. I'm going to show you a couple variations of that. Periodically, nothing wrong with going heavier and limiting your range of motion, maybe taking it down to the levels of your ears and pressing up. But that's not the way we're going to do it primarily on most of our shoulder press days. So my starting point with the shoulder press is with the inside of the dumbbell actually touching my shoulder. I try to press up straight overhead in a very controlled manner. I don't want to rush the repetitions. I want to control them. And as I start to fatigue out, the last thing you want to do is to start arching your back in order to press the dumbbells up. I would rather just end my set than start arching my back and potentially injuring my lower back. Now, what I like about dumbbells is if you have a sore shoulder, on the way down, you can actually turn the dumbbells as you bring them down to your shoulder, and that will actually take some of the stress off your shoulder joint if your shoulder is bothering you. The next variation that we're going to do here is commonly called the Arnold press. We're actually going to come all the way down, and as we come down, we turn the dumbbells, we bring them to the front of our chest, and then press up. So this engages even more of the anterior deltoid along with the lateral deltoid. These are probably one of my favorite types of shoulder presses, and I often do the Arnold press. I think they give the shoulders a great pump. There you have it, dumbbell shoulder presses. If they're not in your workout for your shoulder workout right now, you put them in starting today, and you start working them consistently, and you start working them hard. I want to see you doing shoulders at least once a week. If they're a weak area for you and you're a bodybuilder and you're trying to build them up a little bit, then you hit them twice a week, you hit your shoulders. Work in the 8 to 12 rep range, bring them down once in a while in the 6 to 8 rep range, and nothing wrong with going a little extra heavy once in a while and even getting them down, shoulder presses down into the 4 to 6 rep range. So work them consistently, work them hard. If you're one of the few people out there who have not signed up for the OcraMed Health 90-Day Fitness Program, then go to my website right now, www.ocramedhealth.com, where you're going to work one-on-one with me. I'm going to build lean muscle mass for you without the bulk, and we're going to do it safe, we're going to do it in an effective way, and we're going to do it without causing injury. If you're enjoying these videos, please subscribe to my channel, OcraMed Health on YouTube. Any questions about exercises, injuries, or any thoughts you have, just leave a comment in the comment section below, because I always get back to everyone who writes in. And don't forget, OcraMed Health is here to keep you fit forever.